Hello everyone, welcome to another session of product management. Today we are getting into details of product management life cycle. So what is product management life cycle? It's nothing but as simple as that from a birth of a product to at the end, which means from idea to decline. Decline is nothing but the product is no longer relevant in the market. Let me repeat again. PLC, which means product life cycle, is nothing but from an idea to product decline. So let me read through the lines. The product life cycle describes the life of a product in the market through multiple phases, which includes development, market, launch, growth, sales and maturity, and finally withdrawal. So this is something product life cycle. You can compare with as a human birth to the last breath of that particular human being, which means the phases of his life, the phases of his her life. Similarly, the phases of a product, which is from an idea to at the end, which means the product is no longer relevant in the market. So this is something product life cycle. So the product life cycle start from development, which means the ideas and everything. Then it's introduced to the market. Then it's growth. The product will reach to maturity. Then the saturation. The product is no longer able to handle any more growth, or there is no room for growth anymore. Then it is getting declined. So let me repeat again. Development, introduction, growth, maturity, saturation and decline. So this is something product life cycle. Now we are getting into in the each phases of product life cycle. Development, which is the first phase. So in the development phase, all the researches is going to happen. Like the companies are spending a lot of time, effort for the research. Whether the idea is relevant, whether the idea is fit into the market, is there is a growth for opportunity, is the idea is having a potential scalable opportunity. It's a hell lot of research. In development phase, the companies spend a lot of money for getting the idea right and making sure that the product which is having a huge market opportunity and the problem which they are solving is a relevance in the market. Let me read through the lines. This is the research phase of the product life cycle before it's launched in the market. During this phase, companies spend a lot of money on building a great MVP for the first launch. Since the product is yet to be launched in the market, it does not generate any revenue in the phase. Let me simplify it is, this is the phase where companies spending a lot of money for the research, making sure that the problem is solving is right and relevant, and then getting ready for MVP, which means minimum viable product. So regarding MVP, we are getting into very detailed in upcoming chapters. What is the right MVP, how to define an MVP and all. So here, just for the terminology, MVP is minimum viable product, or we can say also most valuable product. We are solving the right, we are making sure that we are solving the right problem by creating this MVP. Okay. And after research and all, the engineering team will be developing the MVP. In the development phase, we can split into two parts. One is research and building the product, building the MVP, not the product. Okay, building the MVP. So this is the development phase. I hope this part is clear. Feel free to comment if there is any doubt. Let me move to next section where the introduction phase. Once the product is developed, which means the MVP phase, after MVP, the product is getting into market. So in this phase, the most time of a product manager is working with the marketing team for how we can introduce the product to the market. What is the right marketing strategy? What is the right campaign we have to launch? And what is the awareness? How we can build an awareness to the market? So it's PM man, which means product managers, mostly spending marketing team to build a right awareness, a right value proposition, or right space in the market, how to launch this market. So, this is the introduction phase. Let me read through the lines. In this phase, the product that you were working on in the development stage is first launched in the market. Okay, I am underlining the light line. During this phase, the main focus is on advertising and marketing. Okay, this is an error you can ignore. Cool. So, mostly PM managers spending time with the working with the marketing team to make sure that how we can introduce this product to the market, what is the right marketing strategy, what is the right advertising mechanism. Okay, after that, next is the growth stage. Think about, you are building a product. Imagine you are building a product, you have a great idea, you document it, you well document it, you worked with a tech team and designers to build that idea, you create an MVP. So that is happened in development phase. Now you are moving to the introduction phase. You launch the product in the market, you make sure that the campaigns and everything is right. Now you want to grow the product. What meant by grow? Grow we can split in terms of product features and modules, then users. So now we are in the growth stage. Growth stage, let me read through the lines. As the product is the first launch in the market, the sales may be initially very low because we just introduced in the market, since a few early adopters try out this product first. Okay, if they like the experience, they refer the product to others, their friends, and slowly the sales and revenue start picking up. So in the growth stage, you will able to see the traction in terms of numbers. You can see the product is getting more users, the product is getting more revenue. So you can see that the product is adopting in the market. So this is growth as simple as growth itself. Now maturity. Maturity stage is very critical because your product is more or less very matured in terms of the features, in terms of the feature, in terms of the usability, and in terms of adoption. So you can see that, okay, my product is well established in the market, and I can see that a maturity in the product in terms of my user base, in terms of my monthly active users. We will get into the product metrics very details. So what is monthly active user, MAU, and the retention, churn rate, everything we are getting into detail in upcoming chapters. So for the time being, just understand there is a maturity stage there we are able to see the right product metrics in a very stable and sustainable way. Okay, let me read through the lines. In this phase, the sales begin to fall off after a period of a rapid growth. I will explain this line. As the product has already reached the widespread audience in the market. Maturity means you are well set with your product, and I will simplify this line. Don't get confused. There is no huge potential growth you can see in terms of product. So the numbers are slowly increasing or slightly in terms of struggling in the equilibrium stage. You might be knowing chemistry. We all know the equilibrium stage. So maturity is the exact equilibrium stage. So there is the product in a stage where it's almost getting it's tied up stage. So that is something maturity. Once I explain from maturity to saturation, you will be able to connect the maturity stage very well. Saturation, let me start with the lines, then I will explain. In this phase, the product will not show any growth. So the growth is almost done. Decline in terms of revenue. In the maturity stage, you are just expecting a decline, but saturation stage, the revenue is getting declined, and users are also getting declined. In this stage, many companies are competing with each others to gain the market share. Hence, you need to increase the brand awareness to be in the customer's preferred choice, so that you can get into do not go into the decline stage. Saturation is there. I mean, you will no longer able to see any growth. You can see only decline in terms of numbers, user base, revenue, and everything. And by the product, if there is a saturation stage for a product, you might be competing with hell lot of your competitors. There is a right fight in terms of the numbers of price, features, offering. So there are A, B, C competitor. They are they are solving a same problem, but they are trying to solve in their own USPs by saying that they are offering a different value propositions and different offering to the users to make sure that there is a market share they can hold. Otherwise, that is going to decline. So this is something the saturation stage. Now the final part, which is the most or the last part of the product life cycle, again PLC. In this stage, the product ultimately dies due to the low or negative growth rate in the sales because the competitor have begun to take the portion of the market share. So let's say this is your company A, B, C. So they have solving same problem and they have their own USPs. In the maturity and saturation state, you will be fighting each competitor to get the large portion of the market share. But once you are no longer able to get into that stage, you will be out of the market. Then the other competitors will, let's say, be in this case getting that market share. Okay, so this is decline stage. This is all for today. uh, Product life cycle, we will be trying to make the sessions very short and specifically discussing one or two topic which help you to gather as much as information. And feel free to share the comments or ask questions. Like and subscribe the channels for more videos. Thank you.